to conduct operations.
The week-long training has strategic operation planning officers as participants. From the Nigerian Army Resource Center, Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Well, the military has in recent times stepped up its campaign against Boko Haram terrorists in the northeast. The operations are aimed at routing remnants of the terrorists who are seeking refuge in some remote locations in the forests. One of these operations, carried out by troops of Operation Lafia Dule on Saturday, involved troops of 159 Battalion 27 Task Force Brigade. The troops of the unit, acting on intelligence, successfully executed a swift operation against suspected Boko Haram terrorist locations in about 7 villages. The unit neutralized the concentration of the Boko Haram terrorists at Bulabulin and Alagano forests. A statement signed by the Director Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Saniku Kasheka Usman, says the offensive dovetailed into cordon and search operation in 4 villages. The Nigerian Customs Service says the new customs car duty payment policy is not targeted at individual car owners but smugglers. Controller General of the service, Hamid Ali, made this clarification when some members of the House of Representatives Tactical Committee on Economic Recession visited Customs House. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports.
This meeting with management of the Nigerian Customs Service is the first by this committee, and that basically underscores the key role the agency plays in Nigeria's economy. The fundamental mandate of the Tactical Committee on Economic Recession is to meet with major players in Nigeria's economy towards ensuring that the country finds the exit point from recession.
We consider your service, your agency, as one of the important agencies we are going to meet on a quick win basis.
The Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Hamid Ali, while assuring them of the agency's support, noted that the new car duty payment policy is part of an initiative to check tariff evasion by some importers of vehicles.
But we're not going to go deliberately now to put customs everywhere and say we are now checking vehicles. No, that is only when your car is due for licensing that you go there. And then our men will be there with the computer. They will compute your VIN number, and it will show whether you have paid, that car the duty has been paid for it or not.
After consultations with relevant agencies of government, the committee is expected to convene a public hearing to aggregate all recommendations on how to exit from recession. From the Customs Headquarters, Abuja, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
The federal government wants more local players to participate in the oil and gas sector, eliminate flaring and turn gas into productive energy for economic development. Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, said this is part of government's economic plan during the inauguration of Transco Power Gas Turbine 15 at Ughelli, Delta State. Ifeoma Ukafo reports.
Transco Power Plant Ughelli, one of the nation's largest fossil fuel generating plants, has grown its capacity from 250 to 620 megawatts with a target of 800 megawatts for the year. The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, said the additional capacity of the plant is consistent with the federal government's policy of incremental power, which will ultimately translate to stable and uninterrupted supply.
The Buhari administration understands that the local investor is the most dependable investor. We're going to run when the ship hits stormy waters. A continuity and commitment to continue to invest that really typifies their belief in the Nigerian economy.
Delta State Governor Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa urged the federal government to initiate favorable policies to encourage gas development as he reassured of a peaceful business environment in the state.
And when truly you move into the creeks, you find that most people are unemployed, and over time, they become ready to cause crisis. But we have continued to engage the youths, and we thank God that peace is returning.
The power sector in Nigeria is not just about profitability, it's not only about increasing access to electricity, it's about making sure we carry the community along. And that is why I dare say we've had peace operating in this period.
With the successful synchronization of the turbine to the national grid, it is expected that this will improve electricity supply in Uhiali and environs. In Uhiali, Ifoma Okafor, NTA News.
Sorry about the rather noisy bits on that report. And staying with gas, the federal government says it is putting in place security, fiscal and legal incentives to restore investor confidence in its liquefied natural gas projects. Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Dr. Mekan Tibaru, said this during a discussion on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria on Nigeria's liquefied natural gas projects that have been in limbo. Lydia Sampson has details.
The Nigerian liquefied natural gas NLNG project in Borno River State is considered Nigeria's best success story. It was supposed to be first of 3 projects that were expected to substantially harness Nigeria's enormous gas resources and increase revenue from that source. The final investment decision FID of Brass LNG, Olokola, also known as OKLNG, and NLNG 27 are yet to be taken years after the projects were initiated. Discussing the viability and prospects of LNG projects on Good Morning Nigeria, experts in oil and gas identified the factors that held up the projects.
At the best of times for Nigeria, we did not have the resources, human and financial, to pursue 3 LNGs at the same time.
Political will is very significant in moving forward energy projects. With those, the decision to go ahead with the FID in 1995.
We don't have composite gas law as a country.
They had suggestions on how the outstanding LNG projects can be put back on track.
This is a serious business which requires a lot of inputs.
Investors will feel confident that they have a basis, a long-term basis of seeing that the fiscal regimes will not be changing, the tax regime will not be changing.
The JAMB gave an assurance that following engagement with international partners and tackling of security challenges, multiple taxes and stability, he is optimistic that investors will return to harness opportunities in Nigerian LNG. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
And you can watch this broadcast live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. And still to come, Electoral Reform Panel hears out concerns in Jos. Stay with us.
Madam, welcome, sir. Give me a bar. Okay. Correct. One or more. Something. Okay. This not the levels of MTN. I will for you. I will for me. I will child for everybody. Thanks for I will for me. I will for me. I will for you. I will for everybody.
With MTN Awu for you, every day na jolly. Anytime when you recharge from 100 naira, MTN go summer you 4 times your recharge. Where you fit take call, text or browse. Meaning say you go get 4 times the value. Chai! Just dial *888 star the recharge pin hash to enjoy this better Awu. This offer now for only MTN prepaid and postpaid customers. Terms and conditions they shall.
MTN, everywhere you go.
The Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, FMITI, and the Industrial Training Fund, ITF, cordially invite the governors of Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, Benue, Edo, Ekiti, Enugu, Gombe, Imo, Jigawa, Kano, Kebbi, Kogi, Ondo, Osun, Oyo, Rivers, Taraba, and Yobe states, executive councils of benefiting states, chairpersons of local government councils from the states, the organized private sector, and other stakeholders to the flag-off of the National Industrial Skills Development Program, NISDP. The flag-off ceremonies will be performed by the governors of the benefiting states. This phase of the NISDP will equip 9,000 youths with skills for employability and entrepreneurship in over 30 trades and crafts, in line with the job creation efforts of the federal government. Under President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Date is 20th to 24th March 2017, time 10 a.m. Guests are expected to be seated by 9:30 a.m. Please. Announcer, Management.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, commences the sale of UTME and direct entry application as follows. Sale of UTME begins Monday, 20th March to Wednesday, 19th April 2017. Registration of UTME closes on Saturday, 22nd April. E-pins for registration are obtainable at the bank, NIPOST, or nearest JAMB office. There will be a mock examination on the 8th of April for interested candidates to familiarize themselves with the CBT environment. For more information on the process of registration, visit the board's website www.jamb.gov.ng or read the Punch, Sun, Daily Trust, Vanguard, Leadership, Telegraph, Nation, and Guidance newspapers of Tuesday, 14th March 2017. Professor Ishak O. Oleyede, Registrar, Announcer.
Hello? Welcome to the M6 Challenge. Using your new Gioni M6, carry out everything on that list. Starting now. Get to the door. Congratulations, you have passed the test. Gioni M6 with a 5,000 milliampere battery that lets you go on for 2 days on a single charge. Gioni M6, always in power.
The Honorable Minister of State Aviation, Distinguished Senator Hadi Sirika, will on Tuesday, March 14, 2017, release NIMET 2017 Seasonal Rainfall Prediction, SRP, to the public. Time 9 a.m. prompt. Venue, Air Force Auditorium, Kado, Abuja. All stakeholders and the general public are cordially invited. Announcer, Management.
The Vice Chancellor, Bayero University Kano, Professor Mohammad Yahuza Bello, on behalf of the Council, Senate, and entire university community, cordially invites the general public to the 34th Convocation Ceremonies 2015-2016 session for the conferment of honorary degrees, higher degrees, and award of prizes, scheduled to take place at 9 a.m. daily at Convocation Arena, New Campus, Guazo Road, Kano. 15th and 16th March, Convocation Ceremony of graduates of the following faculties. Friday, 17th March, Convocation Lecture. Topic, the Nigerian Economy, Current Recession, and beyond. Speaker, Professor Akban Hogan Ekpo, Director General, West African Institute of Financial and Economic Management, Lagos. Chairman, Malam Ahmed Joda. Time 4 p.m. 18th March, conferment of honorary degree on the following personalities. Award of higher degree. Registrar, Announcer.
What makes a Naija mom powerful?
I encourage my kids to learn new things. And if they get hurt, I rely on the power of my Dettol's One Capful. To fight germs, it's like my own first aid kit.
My family needs protection from germs. I use the power of Dettol's One Capful to disinfect surfaces and clothes to keep them clean and safe from germs.
I trust the power of Dettol's One Capful for bathing. The power of Dettol's One Capful protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Millions of powerful Naija moms use the power of Dettol's One Capful to protect their families. Be a powerful Naija mom with Dettol. Be 100% sure.
Feet are stopping, and the jam is pumping. Look at the crowd is jumping. Pump up your jam and push up your hand. You know, say me fans them plenty like sun. Jump up and dance, make them understand. Say me energy could have never be contraband. No matter what life throws at me, I can handle it constantly. All of my fans them invited. DJ, make my day. Make my day. Make my day. Make my day.
Thanks for staying with us in the news. Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, Ishak Modibo says broadcasting stations that are yet to pay their license fees have up till the 31st of March to do so or risk being shut down. He said this while briefing journalists in Abuja on the strategies taken by the Commission towards ensuring professionalism, especially as the nation goes digital.
Stations that refuse to meet their license fees obligations to the NBC would be closed down, period. After we have collected outstanding license fees, stations would then be requested to turn in the annual report for us to carry out the obligatory assessment of what constitutes a percentage of the turnover that they are also obliged to pay to the NBC. In the same manner, we have given stations till the end of March to install off-air recording facilities. This is mandatory.
The Director General also enumerated other anomalies to be tackled by the Commission, including acts of impunity, proliferation of hate speech, and abuse of phone-in format. Over 5 billion naira was said to be owed by broadcasting stations. Updating Nigeria's electoral process through reforms needs to be sustained if Nigeria aspires to be a leading democratic nation in Africa. This was part of views expressed by participants from the North Central Geopolitical Zone at the ongoing Constitution and Electoral Reform Committee public hearing in Jos, Plateau State. Salihu Abdullahi reports.
Grace Jerry is a physically challenged person. She's among several contributors. Grace wants reforms that will, among others, break barriers and encourage the over 25 million persons with disabilities to fully participate in the electoral process.
Environmental layout of the polling units should be in a way that every form of disability should be able to access that environment.
These other speakers, including Committee Chairman Senator Ken Nnamani, agreed will add value to the expected executive bill on constitution and electoral reform.
The election itself is like the blood of democracy, elections. If you are moving with a polluted blood, chances are that such a body will sooner or later drop dead.
This, no doubt, will go a long way in redefining our democracy as it affects election conduct, which are always marred by controversies.
Some are new, some are things we have advocated, so lots of lessons learned.
We urge you to work out strong modalities to give INEC a truly independent status.
Governors of Nasarawa, Benue, and Kogi were represented at the public hearing. Meanwhile, members of the committee earlier paid a courtesy call on the people and government of Plateau State. In Jos, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And more on the political arena in another twist of events and the lingering leadership crisis of the People's Democratic Party. The Ali Modu Sharif leadership has asked the Professor Jerry Ghana Strategy Committee to stand disbanded and stop any action forthwith in the name of the party. Deputy National Chairman of the party, Dr. Cairo Jogo, stated this during a media briefing on behalf of the party's National Working Committee. Political correspondent Abdullahi Garba Birnamkudu reports.
The PDP Strategic and Inter-Party Committee, with more than 100 membership, was set up November 2017 by Ahmad Makarfi Caretaker Committee to advise on how to reposition the party. Although it has submitted its report, the committee's assignment has been extended for full implementation of its recommendations. This did not, however, go down well with the Senator Asharif-led executive for what they call partisan role of the Jerry Ghana Committee in the PDP crisis.
Whatever committee he calls himself, it was not set up by the party, and we are given notice that forthwith he should continue with it. All organs and 90% of the populace of the PDP, all of them have keyed in to the issue of reconciliation and the convention. And
reacting to the allegations, the spokesman of the Ahmad Makarfi group, Dayo Adeye, said the Jerry Ghana Committee is composed of all organs of the party and has come to stay. He speaks on the choice before the two groups to end the crisis.
All parties should resign their various positions. In other words, Sharif and his so-called National Working Committee should throw in the towel and resign. National Charter Committee should equally resign. But Sharif has rejected that and continued to insist that he will single-handedly organize a national convention.
The PDP leadership crisis has been lingering for about a year now, resulting in litigations. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Birnamkudu, NTA News.
Transparency, accountability, honesty, as well as adherence to the rule of law have been identified as pivotal to all levels of government to rid the nation of corruption. This was by Ekbunta, Chairman, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, at a retreat for Abia State local government officials. Olajide Bello reports.
The local government tier of governance in Nigeria, according to the ICPC chairman, Ekbo Inta, is the most fraught with corruption-prone processes, infrastructure and personnel, and also the least developed compared to the federal and state government. This, he said, facilitated Abia State government in collaboration with the commission to tackle the hydra-headed monster from the grassroots level.
They will be taken through various anti-corruption tools, principles of good governance, transparency and accountability, procurement of goods and services, how to handle corrupt demands. That is the most critical aspect of it. When these basic services fail, the government has failed. Thus, a great deal depends on the managers of our local governments not to fail the people.
The workshop tagged anti-corruption retreat on promoting zero tolerance for corruption at the workplace had participants drawn from all the local government areas in Abia State. In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
The 2017 Technology and Innovation Expo will present to Nigerians critical indigenous technologies capable of transforming the nation's engineering and technological operations. Minister of Science and Technology, Ogbonnaya Onu, made this assertion at the Interministerial Planning Committee for the Expo. Kirian Umayo reports.
Eagle Square, Abuja, is the venue of the Technology Expo, where Nigeria's finest engineers, scientists, technologists, craftsmen, innovators and inventors will converge to showcase their intellectual property. The event is also intended to create window of opportunity for investors to come to terms with sophisticated indigenous technologies and research findings, yearning for commercialization for optimal utilization.
For you to be competitive, you must embrace research and innovation. The Expo, the format that is being done now is the first of its kind in our country, is to bring in all inventors, all innovators, and then investors to bring them together. Because we are committed to making sure that all deserving research findings are commercialized.
Participants are expected from across the globe, including Nigerians in the diaspora, universities, research institutes, and specialized laboratories. Representatives from all sectors of national economy make up the 6 subcommittees of the Interministerial Planning Committee for the Technology and Innovation Expo 2017. Kirian Umayo, NTA News.
The federal government has commenced production and supply of fertilizer nationwide as part of an initiative for more inputs to farmers at cheaper price and to boost employment openings for about 2 million farmers. The program is under the Nigeria-Morocco Partnership. Musa Baba Aliu reports.
Despite the fact that Nigeria has a number of blending plants with the capacity to produce 4 million metric tons of fertilizer, availability and affordability of the input remain a source of concern to farmers. During the 2015-2016 wet and dry season farming activities, a bag of fertilizer was sold at between 9 and 10,000 naira. The Presidential Fertilizer Initiative was therefore constituted with a view to identifying ways of producing enough and affordable fertilizer to Nigerian farmers. This led to signing of agreement with Morocco on the supply of phosphate, one of the major raw materials for the blending of fertilizer.
We've received 46,200 metric tons for the first batch. Each batch is 46,200 for phosphate, and we have also received 32,000 metric tons of potash from Europe. These are the 2 imported raw materials.
Under this agreement, 11 blending plants in the country are expected to produce 1 million tons of NPK fertilizer this year. The blending plants have commenced operation, with the smallest of the plants having 600 workers and the largest 1,200 workers.
Then you have the agro dealers that comes to the plants and buy the fertilizer. They buy from the plant at 5,000 naira. They have 500 naira margin.
A 50 kilogram of the fertilizer is to be sold at 5,500 naira. And any farmer who comes across people selling above the official price should blow his whistle through this number. From Kaduna, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
It's time now to go over to our Lagos Network Center and link up with Ademola for more reports on the news. Ademola, let's hear from you.
Thank you, Cyril. Good evening and warm welcome to Lagos. In its bid to ensure an all-inclusive education, the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, says it will waive mathematics for blind candidates sitting for the 2017 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME. JAMB Registrar Professor Ishak Oloyede disclosed this in Lagos during a meeting organized to interact with stakeholders on preparation and processes to ensure a seamless conduct of the 2017 UTME. Jane Ojuko reports.
Professor Ishak Oloyede disclosed that the step was to ensure that qualified blind candidates are not denied opportunity for admission, pending when the board would have procured enough machines to test blind candidates in mathematics. On the UTME computer-based test, Professor Oloyede said out of over 1,000 centers that applied for accreditation, JAMB has approved 600 who met its criteria for effective conduct of the CBT. He said registration for the examination commences on the 20th of March and closes on the 19th of April. Having scrapped the use of scratch card for UTME registration, Professor Oloyede disclosed that candidates can now register through the banks.
As a student creates on his mobile, on his cell phone, as he creates his profile, automatically we will send the e-syllabus and the e-brochure into his email, which he has given.
Some of the CBT operators have this to say.
We already upgrade our system, as they said, 250. We even have our own backup.
Some centers are just newly being approved, and the tendency of having the teaching problem cannot also be overlooked.
Meanwhile, candidates have the opportunity to sit for mock UTME examination for 700 naira payable to the CBT Center to prepare them for the examination proper. In Lagos, Jane Ojuku, NTA News.
The Accident Investigation Bureau, AIB, has released the final reports of 4 plane crashes, including the one involving Dana Airline. Chief Executive Officer of the Accident Investigation Bureau, Aki Olateru, disclosed this at a press briefing held in Lagos. Jane Ojuku again has the details.
The 4 final accident investigation reports released so far include Dana Air crash, which occurred on the 3rd of June 2012, an accident involving OAS helicopters, which happened on the 29th of July 2011, and Bristol helicopter crash, as well as that of the Presidential Implementation Committee on Maritime and Safety. The causal factor of the accidents range from engine failure to non-adherence of pilots to flight rules.
It's more of human error and systemic error. That's the organization itself. If you look at the Bristol S92, it is shared responsibility. You talk of the Dana, it's more procedural and human error.
Mr. Aki Olateru disclosed that AIB also made recommendations targeted at the relevant agencies and stakeholders to forestall recurrence.
We talk of accident investigation, it's everybody's concern. It's a whole world issue because there are 2 different things. You have accidents and you have serious incidents. So when it's an accident, most times you see nations will rise to help one another in making sure this doesn't happen again.
He appealed to the federal government to come to the aid of the agency as the budgetary allocation for accident investigation, which is 16 million naira, has posed a serious challenge for the agency. In Lagos, Jane Ojuku, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. It's now time for us to take a break for some messages, after which the news continues from Abuja. Stay with us.
See? That's it?
But she's academically so good.
Could have been better.
My grade, fitness F.
Emotional well-being, E. E?
I want you to play with me until you get tired.
Mom, I want you and the baby to be healthy.
Promise. I'll eat healthy foods, okay? I love you.
We will always play together and we will be champions.
The Vice-Chancellor, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Oka, Professor Joseph Ahaneku, on behalf of the Council, Senate and the university community, invite you to the 11th Convocation ceremonies of the university. Date, Wednesday, 15th of March 2017, 1 p.m., Convocation lecture by the former chairman of EFCC, Malam Nuhu Ribadu. Thursday, 16th of March, 11 a.m., award of first degree. Venue, Convocation Arena. Friday, 17th of March, 11 a.m., commissioning of newly completed project, followed by award of postgraduate and honorary degrees and prizes. Venue, Convocation Arena. Announcer, Professor Charles Esimone, DVC Academic and Chairman, Ceremonial Committee.
I discovered something that took all my period worries away. New and improved Always Ultra has a comfortable top layer and extra super gel for extra super absorbency. No stain, no check, because gel won't sleep.
Happy always. Mamador is cholesterol-free, full of omega oils and approved by the Nigerian Heart Foundation. Mamador, your heart will thank you.
It's finally here, the most anticipated sports show on live television, featuring great sports icons from ex-internationals to famed journalists and administrators. It doesn't come bigger than the Sports Parliament. Be a part of the biggest sports talk show on television to help chart a successful path for Nigerian sports. 11 p.m. to midnight on Thursday on the NTA. Sports Parliament, where the eggheads converge.
Back in Abuja, the rest of the news. And on business, federal government seeks central bank's cooperation in extending verification of bank accounts to microfinance banks to check salary malpractices. For details of this and more, let's join Leah Katumba Batunde.
Hello and welcome to Business News. Now, the Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, has strongly solicited the cooperation of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, in extending the requirement for bank verification number BVN to account holders in microfinance banks, MFBs, to facilitate the detection of bank accounts which might have been opened and operated in such banks for ghost workers by fraudulent syndicates. The minister, who sought the cooperation of the governor of the Central Bank in that regard, in a correspondence addressed to him, said that the introduction of BVN has contributed immensely in improving the integrity of the federal government payroll, on which more than 50,000 ghost workers were detected and removed. Now, an estimated 3,000 jobs are to be created when the dry port slated for Abia State comes on stream. The Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Shippers Council, Hassan Bello, gave this indication when he visited Abia State Governor Okeze Ikpeazu. Ikpeazu said that Abia is ready to fast-track export of locally made goods and services.
1 million pairs of shoes leave the shores of Abia State every week to the west coast of Africa. You can consign your goods from everywhere in the world to this place. And then we have all the facilities. Then we have all the regulatory authorities.
Project, which is a 50,000 containers port facility, will serve Aba, Onitsha, Enugu, Ebonyi, Imo, Delta and Benue states. Moving on to the equities market, the Nigerian Stock Exchange resumed the week in the red to see the oil share index shed 0.4%, while the market capitalization closed at 8.699 trillion naira. 135 million equities swept hands in 2,909 deals. UBA Capital, Union Bank and Ecobank led the gainers, while the losers were led by 40 Oil, Livestock Feeds and NAM Insurance. Diamond Bank, FBN Holdings and Fidelity Bank emerged the most sought after stock. And that wraps up business news for this hour. Thank you for watching.
And Kaduna is our next stop with Abdullahi.
Very much, sir, and welcome. How to explore and harness high-grade nickel mineral discovered last year at Dangoma village of Jama local government area of Kaduna State dominated the discourse when the Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Kayode Fahimi, paid a visit on the acting governor of Kaduna State, Barnabas Yusuf Bala, at Sakashim Ibrahim House. Muhammad Umar Ajingi has the details.
Few months ago, the media was awash with interesting news of high-grade nickel being discovered in large quantity with the potential to change the face of not only Kaduna State economy, but that of Nigeria. That, among other issues, informed the visit by the minister to interact with the acting governor on why he was in the state.
This work is going on in Dangoma. The company has not really ceased working. The stage at which they are now is exploration. They're doing much deeper level of exploration work, drilling work.
The acting governor, Yusuf Barnabas Bala, expressed satisfaction with the move to turn around the solid mineral sector for great investment opportunities in the state that will provide jobs and drive the much needed economic growth of not only Kaduna State, but the nation at large.
The governor directed the Ministry for Rural and Community Development to go in and provide the necessary infrastructure to support the activity.
The minister is expected to visit other mining locations at Binungwaru local government, where large deposit of gold is confirmed. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajinki, NTA News.
And that does it from Kaduna. It's back to you, Cyril, for more on the network news.
Thank you, Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachko in Kaduna. We pause for more messages.
You know the status of your eyes? Find out on NTA Tuesday Live, focusing on World Glaucoma Day 2017. NTA Tuesday Live, incisive, informative and educative. Join us.
The Edo State Government of Nigeria hereby announces the burial program of our late visionary leader and icon of development, Brigadier General Dr. Samuel Osaibovo Gbemudia, retired, former governor of the defunct Midwest and Bende states. Tuesday, 14th March, arrival of body from Lagos to be received by the governors of Edo and Delta states by 10 a.m. at the Benin Airport, Benin City. Wednesday, 15th, cultural dance by different dance groups from Edo and Delta states at his residence, Ieya Street of New Lagos Road, Benin City. Thursday 16th, service of songs at 3 p.m. at the main bowl of the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium, Benin City. Friday 17th, interdenominational funeral service at 10 a.m. at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium, Benin City. Our dear Dr. Samuel Osaibovo Ogbemudia, your exemplary and visionary leadership qualities remain an inspiration to us all. Your selfless contribution to the advancement of the cause of the black race are invaluable and can never be forgotten. Good night and sleep well, great one. Signed, Burial Planning Committee.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
NAFDAC embarks upon everything we do, including water we drink, the food we eat. They are important organs to the development of this country. And everybody should come out and join them and support them and help them to achieve the greatest benefits and success that they need to record.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
And for a bit on the global scene, here is Gabriel Odu.
Latest reports from Addis Ababa, the Ethiopian capital, indicate that at least 50 people have been killed at a vast dump caused by landslide. A number of makeshift houses have been buried under tons of waste. The site has been a dumping ground for over 50 years. While in Madagascar, a cyclone has hit the island country, killing at least 50 people, leaving about 150,000 displaced. In Guinea, the International Federation of Human Rights says the extradition of Guinea massacre suspect from Senegal is a powerful signal in favor of the fight against impunity. Away from Africa now, and from Syria, UNICEF says at least 652 children died during the Syrian crisis in 2016. UNICEF also indicates that about 850 children were recruited as child soldiers to fight in the Syrian war. That's Global Tidbits. Gabriel Udu, NTA News.
In sports, next with Tamara Ibiwe.
Imo State has won Southeast Cricket Championship, tagged the 7th Chuma Nosike Cup, by defeating Anambra Team 1 by 2 wickets. Imo State, who batted first, scored 113 runs for 9 in 20 overs game, while Anambra Team 1 got 97 runs all out in 19.4 overs. University of Nigeria Nsukka, which represented Enugu State, came third. The fielder of the series award was won by Okoye Pascal of Team Ebonyi, while Tabansi Onyeka of Team Anambra 1 was adjudged batsman of the Serbs. Nigeria Para Powerlifting Federation has concluded her national trials at the Obafemi Awolowo Stadium, Ibadan, Oyo State. The trials is to select 16 athletes that will represent the country at the 2017 International Paralympic Championships slated for Iga, Hungary in May. A total of 97 athletes took part in the 20 categories, which includes 41 kilograms, 54 kilograms, 59 and 107 plus kilograms. The federation is expected to name the selected 16 athletes this week. In tennis, British number 1 Joanna Konta is out of the BNP Paribas Open in Indian Wells with a 6-3, 3-6, 6-7 third-round defeat by Frances Caroline Garcia. Konta, seeded 11th, broke Garcia in the 4th game, but the 21st seed leveled the match and dominated the third set tie-break, winning 7-1. Meanwhile, British number 3 Kyle Edmund lost to defending champion Novak Djokovic 6-4, 7-6 in round 2. With sports updates, Tamara Ibiwe, NTA News.
Let's go for a quick check on the weather.
Over the northern part of the country, wet across the inland of the south down to the coast. Although temperature values are still on the high side over the southern cities, but not as much as it were over the previous week. And now on to the forecast. We expect the northeastern flank of the country to be under sunny and hazy conditions, while other parts of the northern cities are expected to be sunny. From the southern fringes of the central state down to the coast, we expect partly cloudy conditions to prevail. Later in the day, we expect weather conditions over most parts of the country to remain unchanged, with the exception of the Niger Delta, Atijere, Ijebu-Ode, parts of Lagos, and the southeast, where localized thunderstorms are expected. Thank you for watching. See you again.
And checking on our top story tonight, President Muhammadu Buhari was at his desk this Monday after returning to the country last Friday. And just a quick reminder.